Hi guys and welcome. Today's video is all about Chanel. I've picked up a few pieces. I got the eyeshadow and blush palette. I also picked up the Oversize illuminating powder. I also got 3 of the Rouge Allure the Extrays and also picked up 1 of the Rouge Allure Laques. I've already got my primer on and I've chosen a more lighter foundation to wear today because in New Zealand it's now spring and it's quite warm at the moment. So I've got the Vitalumiere. I really love this foundation. I think it gives a beautiful finish and it gives a light towards medium coverage. It's a really lovely foundation. So I'm just going to put some on the left side of my face first. And like all the other Chanel foundations, this one is also fragrance, but I don't find it heavily fragranced at all and it dissipates really quickly. But I do love the lightness that it gives, not so much as in coverage because it's a light towards medium finish, but it just feels really light. Such a beautiful foundation. I really love the finish that this foundation gives. It works really well with my mature skin. I think it's super flattering and also works really well with my oily skin.
Fishes, they follow the flow. But what if one tried to mention that there was much more to explore? Here I am, I have a plan, I'm living free, don't know where I'll land. Here I am, I have a plan, I'm living free, don't know where.
So I'd normally put on bronzer after powdering, but if I put any on today, I'll leave it towards the very end because I'm going to be using some of the shades from this really gorgeous palette, be using that as a blush, and I want to show it to you without bronzer mixed in as well. So this eyeshadow and blush palette, this is called Enchanted Night. It has 12 grams of product. It is made in Italy and it has a shelf life of 12 months from date of opening. So this eyeshadow and blush palette, this is limited edition, and what also tells you it is limited edition is also the logo on the front here that is gold instead of the standard white. So here is the beautiful Enchanted Night. You have got pink in there, silver, a coral, and also a purple as well. Now I think that the coral, pink and purple, they are satins with light shimmers in it, and then you've got the silver shade, and I understand that is a sheer foiled glitter. So here is the top row and they swatch really beautifully. So this one is, it has got a little bit of glitter in it and it's more like a topper shade actually. Next is the bottom row. We've got a coral and then you've got that really beautiful purple. And this colour story has been inspired by the Starry Nights and also the colours of the Northern Aurora Lights, and I can totally see it in this palette. And this is really big. There's plenty of product in here. They swatched really beautifully. So I'm not quite sure which colours I'm going to use as eyeshadow today. I may use all 4, but perhaps maybe just 2 or 3. I've got my Rapid number 14 brush, and first of all I'm going to start off with this coral shade here. I think this is beautiful. Now I'm just going to go fairly easy with this to begin with. They swatched like they were quite pigmented, so we'll just see how it goes. So I'm just tapping into there again. It's not as scary as I thought it was. The shades are actually, well, this one is quite soft, but it is definitely buildable, and that is a really beautiful shade. So that is a satin with a little bit of shimmer in it. And I'm just going to tap in again. I'm just slowly building up. I don't want to have too much too soon. And the shade blends really beautifully as well. And then I've just wiped down my brush, and next I'm going to go into this purple shade. I'm going to put this in the outer corner. Again, just going to go fairly easy because even though the coral one was quite soft to begin with and buildable. You just don't know with each shade. This shade is absolutely beautiful. And again, not as scary as I thought it was going to be. And because it's so beautifully buildable, I think I will be able to use all 4 shades. I'm going to take the reference number 3. I'm going to stay with this purple shade. And I'm going to put this on my lower lash line. And then I'm not tapping back into the purple. I'm just using what's just left on the brush. And I'm just going to just give a light dusting just over the rest of my lid. I'm going to take this on G. This is the flat definer. And now I'm going to go into the silver shade here. I may use my finger, but first of all, I just want to use a smaller brush and just see how it applies. I don't seem to be getting any fallout from it. So I'm just going to tap over it again just a little bit more. So it's a beautiful glitter and it is definitely a topper shade. You could probably get even more if you use your finger or wet your brush. So I think that's really pretty and gives this beautiful ethereal look to the eyes. But now I'm just going to go in with my finger and just see if you can get some more payoff. And you definitely do. You get more of a foiled look with your finger. It's just gorgeous, really, really pretty. I'm going to take my Rapha 13 and I'm going to build up this purple colour in the outer corner, and the Rapha 13 is just a little bit more dense than the Rapha 14, so I should be able to build up the pigment. Then we're going to take my Rapha number 3, I'm going to go back into this silver shade and I'm going to put a little bit of this in the inner corner as well. So I may as well use all the shades. So now I'm going to go into this beautiful pink here. I'm going to use it fairly sparingly though. I've got the Sonia G. This is the pencil one. And I'm just going to put just a tiny bit just through here. And I will give it a little bit of a blend as well. So just pop a little bit in there. And I also want to put a little bit on my lower lash line as well. So just in through here. I'm just going to take, this is just a really small fluffy brush. This is a Sonia G1. This is really good for detail work. And where I put that pink shade, I'm just buffing it out just to soften it out. And then I was just having a look through my eyeliners because I thought a grey eyeliner would go so beautifully with this colour story, and I wasn't sure whether I had one, but I do have a Chanel one, and this is the Grey Graphite one, and this is really beautiful. So it's got a little bit of depth to it and also a little bit of sparkle, but I think they'll look beautiful in the lash line alongside these other gorgeous colours. And the mascara that I use is a Le Volume one, but it's not the Noir. The one is Blue Night, and I got that probably about 3 or 4 months ago now. It is a blue, but it's got a lot of depth to it. It's a beautiful mascara, and I think it looks really great with this colour story, really beautiful. So here is the finished eye look. And I think it looks really gorgeous. I thought this was going to be a little bit scary, and you can build them up so it is bold, or you can also go really sheer as well. I just think it's really pretty. So I've got my Chukahodo brush, and for the blush, I think I'll go in between these 2 shades here. Maybe first I'll show you what the pink looks like. I'm just going to go very lightly though, and see how this looks. That is a really beautiful shade all on its own. It's just gorgeous. And it blends out beautifully. It doesn't emphasize the texture on my skin. is just gorgeous. So just do the other side, and I will go in with the purple as well, just very lightly with that, just to give it also a little bit of depth. But that is just, it's just gorgeous. They go better on the cheeks than I thought they would. This is so much prettier in person than what the photos show. So now I'm just going to pick up just a touch of the purple as well, or just add a little bit of depth in there. That is just so gorgeous, really beautiful. I love the two mixed together. That purple just gives it that little bit of depth. It's really beautiful. So now let's take a look at the oversized illuminating powder. This is called Diamond Dust. It has 15 grams of product, so it is really huge. It is made in Italy, and it has a shelf life of 18 months from date of opening. And again, you've got the gold Chanel logo on the front there. And this is just so beautiful. It's really gorgeous. I don't know whether the camera will do it justice, but it's really beautiful. Now, initially, I think people thought this was just all glitter, but apparently the glitter is an overspray, and underneath it is really smooth. So here it is with the first swatch. I'm going to swatch it again. It doesn't really feel that glittery. There is a bit of glitter on there, and I don't know whether the camera will show, but it actually has this beautiful light pink sort of iridescent shimmer. It's really pretty. So this is where I've just rubbed a few times in the pan, and it's definitely that glitter. It's not the same as my first swatch, and it feels really smooth. So I'm just going to hold the pan up so you can see where I've swatched it here, and that glitter goes, and you just have it really smooth underneath. And I don't think the camera is picking up that beautiful pink, that iridescent shift in it, but it is really beautiful. What I'm going to do first is, I've got the wrapper. This is the number 18, and I'm going to go over this part here. Now this is the part that I haven't swatched, and I'm going to put it on this cheek here. And you can see how glittery that is. It's beautiful, but definitely a lot of glitter in there. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give my brush a really good wipe down, and then I'm going to go over the part that I went over a few times when I was swatching, and we'll just see if there is a difference. And it is more subtle. So underneath, once you get underneath, it's definitely more subtle and not as glittery as the side. And it also blends out really beautifully as well. So now I'll just try and go over the side and see if I can buff that out a little bit as well. But it's definitely got a more of a shine than this side. But it seems to be buffing out. I also think that this would be really pretty on the eyes as well. So now let's try on some lipsticks. So first of all, I'm going to try the Rouge Allure Laque. There are two different shades in this collection. I picked up number 94, and that is the one Cristal Pink. And look at that shade. It is just absolutely beautiful. And here it is swatched. It is a cool berry pink with shimmers in it. Very pretty. So now let's try this on. Well, that is just absolutely gorgeous, and even though there are shimmers in there, you can't feel them. So there's no, it doesn't feel like there's glitter in there or anything like that, and the shimmer is really subtle. This is a really beautiful shade. So now we'll take a look at the Rouge L'Extrait lipsticks. I got 3 of these. There are 4 in total in the collection. Here is the outside packaging. And then you've got that beautiful holiday design. So this is number 917, and this is a cool rosy pink. This is number 927, and this is a muted coral. And last we have 937, and this is a brick red. So we've got 917, that's the cool rosy pink. Then we've got 927, this is the muted coral, it's got a bit of brown in there. And lastly we've got 937, and that is the brick red. So first of all, I'm going to put on number 927, and this is Orange Polaire. This is what is described as a muted coral. It's got quite a bit of brown in it, and I didn't show you the packaging, but it is the pop-up. It is really gorgeous. So that is Orange Polaire, and I think that is a really beautiful coral, and it's got that brown in it to give it that depth. It's really, really pretty. Next we've got number 937, and this one is called Rouge Spectral, and this is the brick red one. So I think that the shade is really beautiful as well. The shade I tried on before and this one, this is quite a bold lipstick for me, but this shade is just gorgeous. And finally we've got 917, and this one is Rose Boreal. And this shade is just absolutely gorgeous. Out of the three, this is probably my favorite, but that's because the others are quite bold for me. But in saying that, this is quite a bold shade as well, and I think it goes beautifully with the color story. So I think this collection from Chanel is absolutely gorgeous. It is quite bold, but you could definitely go in lighter if you wanted to. You can do so many different looks with this eyeshadow and blush palette. You can go in very lightly. You saw how it goes on lightly to begin with, and you can leave it like that and then just go in with the topper. So you just use one shade and then go in with this beautiful silver topper, and then you'd have a really beautiful easy type of look. But this topper performs beautifully, and when I use my fingers you get that it's more of a foiled effect. It's really gorgeous, and used as a blush, I love these two shades mixed together. The pink by itself is really beautiful, but then adding that more depth with this purple shade, I think both just look really gorgeous. I love this coral shade as well, and I think that would look really beautiful on the cheeks. And when I first applied that one, again, you don't have to go too bold if you want to. You just go in really gently and just build it up to what you're comfortable with. But overall, I think this is really beautiful. And I know that it's a color story that people are either going to love or they're going to hate. But if you're one of those people that hate the look of this, then you'll really like the look of the Chanel Spring, because that is much more softer, muted, neutral, everyday type of eyeshadow quads. But this one is very festive, and I like it that the color story is different, and at least they stayed away from the reds, but really, really beautiful. And the highlighter is just gorgeous. As you saw, the glitter over the top, that really just is an overspray, and once you rub in, it is a lot smoother underneath, and you're still going to get a fairly decent highlight, but not quite like that first swipe that I did on this cheek here where it had quite a bit of glitter. You definitely get that highlight, but it is a lot more smooth, and it also buffs out really beautifully as well. And of course it has, and I don't know whether you can see it on camera, but it has that really beautiful pink iridescent sort of shift to it. It's really, really pretty. And I really love all the lipsticks that I picked up. I do love the color of that Laque one. I think that is really beautiful, and I love this one as well. They're probably my two favorites, but only because, as I was saying, the other ones are just not shades that I reach for with my everyday makeup. But all of the lipsticks, the formulas, the Laque, and also the Luxtray, they are really beautiful, and they feel really moisturizing as well. Now with the Laque lipstick, even though that is a long wearing one, it is very comfortable on the lips and doesn't feel drying, and it almost has a hydrating feel to it as well. It's really, really lovely. So now that I've got this full face of this beautiful Chanel on, I feel like I need to go out for the evening, but sadly I don't think that will be happening tonight, but definitely a look I would wear in the evenings, not so much as a day look, but I think this would look gorgeous at night. So let me know in the comments below whether you love the look of this collection or this is a definite pass. So that's it for today's video. I would love it if you gave it a like and subscribed, and I will see you next time. Bye.